Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to GT7. Now again, I'm going to try and continue to build essentially grinding builds for all of the update 1.26 cars, and now we have the BMW M2 Competition. If you watched my review, you will know I absolutely love this car and I feel like it's a solid tuning platform. And it turns out it actually is. In terms of grinding Le Mans, this is definitely up there as one of my favourites now, just for how, absolutely awesome this machine is. If you want to buy it yourself, it's 91,000 credits from the BMW Brand Central dealership. Honestly, very cheap starting point for a car with a ton of power. Already putting out over 400 brake horsepower from standard. But we're essentially going to go over the top, fully upgrade it, and really see how much power we can put out of this car, as well as keeping it in the 700 pp range. So first up, we're going to head over to the aero department, where we're going to find how you want to build this car. In terms of its, looks, it might not be the best looking, but it's all functional aero. I recommend having the wide body on this car, as it just gives you that bit extra more aggressive looks. But what does really matter, in my opinion, are the wheels. You can have any wheels you want, just ensure that you set them to the widest possible tyre width, should I say, for that added extra grip. In terms of front aero, we are running type B. As the side, we are running type B again. At the rear, we're going to run the carbon one with the little added diffuser, so that's type A. And then we're running a custom wing set, which looks horrible, but it's fully functional, and that's high and type 25 end plate. So in terms of the actual tuning build, I recommend starting out on the racing hard tyres. You also want to ensure that you've got the racing inters and the racing heavy wets for when the rain comes down, and it probably will. Obviously, we're going to go to Le Mans. In terms of body height, 95 seems to be pretty good for this car, without the rest needing to really be touched. I've just kept that as it is. It felt like a pretty solid foundation. Same with the differential. I don't really recommend, changing it. It's not really that needed. This car is very controllable. We've got the gears set to 330 with a fully customizable racing transmission for those quick shifts. So this is where it looks worse than it actually is. So we've got 197 ballast, which is a lot, but don't worry about it too much. With the power, it balances it out. We've got the positioning to -50, and the power restrictor at the bottom there set to 96. So we're trying to restrict as little power as possible. Weight really isn't a big issue. We've got the fully customizable ECU set to 97. The front downforce is at its minimum at 90. The main place you want the downforce is at the rear, which is 340. This is to stop the car kicking out. Next up, we'll head into what parts we've got. We've got the high RPM turbocharger, and then we've got the anti-lag system as well. Now, the fuel consumption on this thing is quite high anyway, so the turbocharger really doesn't make that much of a difference. We've obviously got the anti-lag set to strong. We've got the racing intercooler, and then pretty much all racing parts. So we've got the racing air cleaner, racing silencer, racing exhaust manifold, brake system is racing slotted, brake pads are racing, none of this needs changing, and then up here we've got the racing clutch and flywheel. In terms of more permanent mods, we've got bore up, engine balance tuning, polished ports, high lift camshaft, racing crankshaft, weight reduction stage 1, 2 and 3, and increased rigidity for those high speed straights. So there you have it. Feel free to pause at any moment that you need to, look through it. In terms of running this event, you're going to head into Europe, and then just up here on the left-hand side, you're going to go to Le Mans in France. You want to click on that, and it's here, the middle event. It's the 700 pp, the 30 minutes World Touring Car 700. So go ahead, enter it, and we'll get into the strategy. So in terms of the strategy for this car, I fully recommend just putting it in fuel mix 6 and forgetting about it. Anything higher than that and you will absolutely run out of fuel in no time. This thing drinks fuel even without the high RPM turbocharger installed. So yeah, it's really not fuel efficient, but it's very, very quick. Now, the main kind of advantages you've got with this build is the fact that we're actually pretty stable through the corners. You will notice the car doesn't kick out too much, it just requires a tiny bit of throttle control, but apart from that, you can hit these corners at insane speed. In terms of your top speed, it's much, much higher than the likes of what we did yesterday, which was the Ford Sierra Cosworth. So you are able to hit much higher speeds. You've pretty much got the advantage everywhere on this track. And not just a slight advantage either. Now, you're actually going to notice with this run, it was a fully dry run. Apart from the rain threatening, it seemed to miss us all the time. Now, most of the time at Le Mans, you actually want it to rain, and I know that might sound weird, but it really does catch the AI out, and then most of the time you can essentially just sit at the end of lap 6 on the start-finish line. This allows you to do the shortest time possible. It's not going to be possible for us to do it here because we're quite quick around the course. We're essentially going to have to do that 7th lap. We couldn't just stop and wait, or else the AI would have caught up to us. So yes, we did have a full dry run, which isn't ideal. However, it does allow us to use this car to its full potential. Early on I did make a few mistakes, that's more on me than the car. I feel like this car is very, very good. It really does remind me of the M3 that I've got with the, I believe it's got the old Z4 race car engine in it. Now, hopefully one day this M2 does get that engine swap, because I feel like if it got that swap and we can balance it to 700 pp, it will be absolutely amazing at Le Mans, because it will add, you know, fuel efficiency to it with obviously a racing fuel tank and stuff, and I feel like it will just take this build to the next level. So hopefully Polyphony do add that engine swap into this car, because honestly it will probably be my go-to even to this day. Even though it was kind of months ago I covered it, the M3 with the engine swap is one of my go-tos, because it's just, you know, very versatile. You can do long stints, it doesn't chew through tires, and that's kind of what you've got here, but obviously without that ability to run extra laps with the fuel. So as you can see, we've got a massive advantage here. We're already nearly up in the lead, and we're not even, you know, we're around about halfway through the first lap, not even towards the end of lap 1, and we're already pretty much just pushing and taking on the rest of the field. So, you know, super easy, massive advantage everywhere. As you can see, we're going to make short work of the Dodge Viper up in the lead. As you can see, we're just pulling straight up onto the back of him in his slipstream, pull straight out, and that's the lead for us. At this point, we don't really need to look back. So as usual with Le Mans, I fully recommend once you hit lap 2 to just pull the weather radar up, zoom it all the way out, and just keep monitoring it. This is mainly because most of the time at Le Mans you will get rain, and even though it threatened here, you know, and it didn't quite happen, you know, you do still want to monitor it just in case. It really can catch you out. Now let's do our first pit stop. I'm just going to speed it up here. As you can see, the tyre wear is not bad at all on this car, so I'm actually not going to change the tyres at all. What I'm going to do is just fill the car up for my first pit stop and essentially just get on my way again for another 2 laps before diving in and putting some new tyres and refueling the car at the second pit stop, not the first. And that's another advantage this car has. It just seems to be very, very kind to its tyres. You know, a lot of these kind of rear wheel drive cars will absolutely chew through them. This one, nope, it's completely the opposite. Very kind on the tyres. As you can see, we lost the lead for all of a minute really. We're going to take that back and then again just not have to look back. We're just going to keep stretching our legs at this point. The AI eventually does pit, and as you can see, this is the rain that was kind of closing in on us. It felt like the rain was, you know, constantly coming near the track, but not quite just going off. We're on lap 4 here. As you can see, the tyre wear still in quite good condition. The rest of the AI is pitting, so we're just stretching our legs at this point. Now, just to prove that the clean race bonus happens every time, I got a track limits penalty, and I'm about to serve it here. And then you'll see at the end, I still get my full payout. Nothing has changed with Le Mans or Sardinia. It's only Tokyo that's affected by the clean race bonus. So we're going to take our second pit stop here, as you can see, and this is going to be the longer one. This is the one where we put tyres on as well as fill the car to full. Now, I do recommend doing this if it is going to be a dry race, just to, you know, change the tyres at the second stop. If you change them at the first, you're just kind of, you know, spending more time in there for no reason. You don't necessarily have to change every time you enter the pit. Only mainly due to wear or weather. You know, I know it's kind of habit that people kind of just, you know, throw some tyres on, but it's really not needed. And then you may notice that as we come back out the pits, we've got more rain inbound, which is a bit of a nightmare, but it kind of just is what it is. So then we're just going to do another pit stop at the end of lap 6. This is where we usually do the stop and wait, but we were just far too quick that it was actually easier just to go around and do another lap. So what we're going to do here is take our final pit stop. We're going to keep the tyres on. Again, we don't need to change them. The car's very kind on its tyres. We're going to absolutely fill the car to full. And then essentially what we're going to do is just turn the car up to fuel mix 1, go full power for 1 single lap, and then that will be that. In all honesty, I wouldn't recommend running anything else other than 6 unless you've just got that bit of spare fuel at the end where you can just absolutely punch it for 1 lap, because honestly, even by the end of that one lap on fuel mix 1, you're pretty much out of fuel. It's absolutely crazy how much fuel this car drinks, but it is very, very quick on that fuel mix 1, as you can see, where we're back around in no time really. We're just going to get it out sideways, mess around a bit, and go straight over the line. So there we have it, the BMW M2 Competition can be fully upgraded, and with a little bit of adjusting you can enter it into the 700 pp Le Mans event. Nice and easy, very, very quick car. Obviously we didn't get the fastest lap, that's because it doesn't actually count your first lap for some reason. Really odd that it doesn't do that, and obviously with the pitting every other lap, it doesn't really, you know, count as a fast lap. Overall we did 31:23.443, which is not too bad. Obviously having to do that 7th lap, so I can't really complain at doing 7 laps in that short a time. Maybe I could have just wished for a bit of rain just to kind of slow the pace down and allow me to do a stop and wait. It was 825k in half an hour, which is nice and easy. And again, it just proves that we've got another grindable car, I guess, which is very, very nice. So there we have it. We only have one more car really to cover from the update 1.26 cars in terms of grinding. That will be the Silvia Aero. Now I'm still working on the build. There's a few things I want to get sorted. It's very kind of close to the Zenki version, but a little bit different. Obviously there's kind of a few different parts for that car. And just trying to get it to feel just right. It feels a little bit like less grippy than the Zenki did for some reason when I had that set up for Le Mans. But I'm more than likely going to either take it to Tokyo or Le Mans. Probably Le Mans. It's more popular at the minute, mainly because of what happened with Tokyo and the kind of clean race bonus mess around which happened there. So Tokyo's just really not that popular at the minute. So that's going to be it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn the notifications on so you don't miss an upload from me. Thank you so much for your support recently. Down in the description I'll have my Twitter and my Discord links, and I will see you all later on. Take care guys. Peace!